So I turned to Blackjack and I'm like, what? So I gotta battle through some monsters to prove that I'm cool enough to join your gang?
You'll see. But nah, we're gonna. It's a tournament, You're gonna be fighting against some of the other guys in our gang. Anybody who kind of earns their way in. Hello and welcome to Funky Quest. This is Funky Games Online Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign, playing Dungeons of Drakkenheim. My name is Dan, aka Dandy Dungeon Master, aka the Big DM. I'll be running tonight's game, and I'm joined by the rest of the Funky roster.
We got Wiggs and the Smash Fox playing, Farron, the ASMR Way of Mercy monk, and yeah, going through a bunch of stuff and ready to wreck some faces.
I am Isendale, aka Danielus, the half-elf ranger, with my trusty steed, Barkus.
And
ow, ow, can I get ow, ow?
We need to add that to the soundboard.
Yeah, ow, ow, ow,
yeah.
We'll have to get everybody to record those. And I am Steven, aka Ireland, playing Bulk, the artificer. And and also, we have cool stuff here at the Funky Store, funky.store. We got merch. Almost everyone's wearing cool merch that you can get over at funky.store, Funky Store. It really helps out the channel, so we appreciate when you pick it up. Who knows when this episode's airing? It could be summer. It might be summer right now. It's cold right now, though, and we're thinking about Christmas. So you can go to the Funky Store and get stuff there. I guarantee you there'll be stuff there when this episode's aired. So go check that out. We appreciate all your likes and subscribes and your comments. Susan, we see you. We appreciate you. We appreciate all the Funky fans. Talk about Dungeons and Dragons.
What if by the time this comes out, Susan hasn't watched for like 2 months?
Oh no,
and she never got her shout out.
She'll come back. She'll come back. I'm hopeful.
Incredible. Are you done? My bad. I'm sorry.
No, yeah. Plug attained.
Yeah. Check the description, dog. Update on the kill counter. I believe we just had 1 kill to Danielus last week. So Bulk at 10, Danielus 23, Farron sitting up top, 34. Top of the mountain, king of the hill. And I've killed Barkus 4 times. There was also our other change, which is now being tracked. And leading right into it, I mean, come on, the favorite moment. I mean, it's got to be whatever the Danielus was trying.
Oh my god. That was stressful to just sit there like, all right, okay, here we go. What's happening? Oh.
And I liked it. And I was really...
I had that chest out in my head. So does that mean I get inspiration?
No, unfortunately.
Reaching for stars.
Indeed. Yeah, you're reaching. You have actually your inspiration, you have contamination, 2 levels. So be wary. But alas, gentlemen, shall we dive back in?
Not in the water.
Yeah.
Yes, please not. When last we left our adventurers, the party was completing a short rest in the northern city outskirts, preparing to cross the Drand River for a meeting with Blackjack Mel at the Queen's Men hideout in Buckledown Row. What began as a thrilling sail across the river became a life or death struggle when the party was attacked by hunting harpies, the same harpies who ousted Danielus from his hideout. The harpies swirl about the sloop, flying in with claw attacks while singing an enchanting chorus, luring the party to jump off the boat into the contaminated river. The party appeared to be strained to the edge against the harpies' mental attacks, and Danielus attempted a daring aerial maneuver, ending with him in the river, absorbing contamination. They managed to hold out long enough. Indeed, sir. They managed to hold out long enough to reach the other side of the Dran and rally to chase off their winged assailants. Afterwards, Daniels blamed his behavior on getting revenge against the Harpies and losing Barkus for the 4th time during their adventure, but Bulk and Farron are not having it. Traveling through a neighborhood filled with anarchist propaganda, the party find themselves at Buckledown Row and track Blackjack Mel into a tavern basement, watching the fight pits. Mel draws quite a bit of attention to you guys as big game hunters, and you all have quite the conversation. So you sold the information about the Black Ivory Inn to Mel, who claimed ownership of his dead uncle's business, and he sent a team to investigate. Farron asked, these are all things that you told to him. Farron asked his sister Anya about the relics. Mel wants to obtain any information she finds, obviously, and then he tells you guys how the Silver Order first came into Drakkenheim. Book and Mel seem to think that your sister is in danger. Farron did not at all. So we'll see how that plays out. Book continued theory crafting a factionless Drakkenheim united around purified delirium. Mel wasn't buying that. He explained how the Queen of Thieves rallied the straggled bands of looters and commoners who have always been here before the other factions came in seeking power. Mel also provided your final prize for securing the Scepter of St. Vitruvio for the Queensmen. It was an entry, a golden ticket actually, into the Queen's Ball, a tournament for the chance to meet the Queen and ask a favor of her. Allegedly, the favor part, but you do get to meet the Queen. He also becomes your manager and will split any gambling profits earned in the fighting pits. So we'll have to discuss those terms. Intrigued by the concept of a tournament and looking to work off some steam, Farron particularly, but Bulk joins in, decide to test the local fighting pits to see what they can expect. Mel leaves to make an introduction for Daniels and says he'll whip up an exciting fight that he can drive some betting action on. So we're just kind of going to set the scene in both areas here. So Danielus, you have left the basement of Sneaky Magoo's, and you have gone upstairs, and you are about to meet Mel. Farron and Bulk. Let's spend just a little bit of time. Let's see what comes up. So in the basement of Sneaky Magoo's, it's a pretty rustic, perhaps, is what you would say. It's almost like, so I mean, you guys were just most recently in the Black Ivory Inn, which was in its pristine condition. So just imagine the Black Ivory Inn, but after 15 years of disuse. There's broken chairs and tables, etc., everywhere. There is a put together bar over in the corner where a bartender is serving drinks, and there is a ringed section kind of off in the corner of the bar that is stained with blood, and it is where you have been watching the fights so far. You guys are at a table, you're sitting together, and Mel and Daniels have just left. My understanding is that you guys were going to wait here for Daniels and Mel to come back. In the meantime, you're going to take a short rest and fight this opponent that Mel brings up. So at this point, I kind of just want to check in with you guys, kind of see what's the vibe. You're in this environment. What's the conversation like?
Farron's a little bit tense. A lot has happened in the past couple days, but he's mainly just probably focusing on the pits to kind of distract himself. Probably he'll look over to Bulk and be like, "So who do you think will fight? Do you think it'll be a person, or does he have some kind of monster caged?"
Anything goes with Mel. I do think that he will set up expectations in his favor. He has
Right.
a lot of reputation to lose, so I don't think we'll be set up for failure.
Now the question is he going to be betting on us or against us?
Let us hope that it's again. I feel like for continued business ventures, Mel will see that our side is the righteous path.
What?
You seem a fair bit troubled. With recent events, it's easy to understand.
A lot has happened. A lot I thought I put to rest, for better words or less, and now I'm not so sure. Maybe it was preemptive. I'm not quite sure. Things that I thought were concrete are maybe a little bit more flexible, though not known.
In a moment, the whole world can change. We've seen that time and time again. And I hope your mind finds resonance in the fight pits tonight.
Right. I think the fight pits will help take my mind off things right now. I think that will help. And then you can just kind of see probably like the knees and the hands are just kind of a little jittery with anticipation and just kind of nerves.
All right. I'll put a
No, go ahead.
I'll put a comforting hand on your shoulder and say, "Brother,
Yeah.
we shall find peace."
You won't find peace in this environment. I'm curious what you guys think of the situation you found yourselves in.
At Mel's?
Perhaps, yes, in Sneaky Magoo's. Perhaps anything about Daniels. Just curious. Pardon me. Let me deafen Daniels here.
I was
This
about
is a
to
good time to
say.
do it.
Mhm.
It's a good time to do it. All right, cool.
As much as your mind is troubled, I feel our brethren also has hostiles in his mind rattling around. His actions were most lacking in thought.
Yeah, he was a bit reckless with the harpies. Went for a bit of a dip, which probably wasn't the best idea.
Are you aware of the harpies being aligned with any particular faction or just acting out of bestial need?
Oh, what was it? We fought that monster not too long ago with the fallen flame. There were that beast. They said something. They called something out about that harpy ringleader.
Yes.
It was something of sorts. So at least we know she has allies. She has some ties to Danielus.
Yes, we have ripples of
See if Daniels
memories
is paying
of the
attention.
before times. But
Yeah, we don't know terribly too much about Danielus. He's a little more on the guarded side, but growing up in a town this close to where everything happened, you can't really blame him too much, I suppose.
I do feel the more time we spend finding who is all on the board and who's on what side of it, we
Why,
might
we
have a
already
better time reclaiming all of Drakkenheim.
why, we'll just have to keep our eyes out. We've already lost one party member. Hopefully we can prevent any more from falling apart.
Truly.
A couple of men walk past you. They're pretty rough customers. If you were to describe pretty much all of the people in here, thugs would suffice. But these guys, they come by and they say, one of them, a man, says, "So you are Mel's new guys, huh?"
Mm, Maybe I'm not quite sure if we've earned that title. We've worked for him, but I don't know if we're his go-tos.
He's already running his mouth outside, saying he's got some new blood coming around here. Said he was some big, shiny turtle-looking guy.
Well, yep, that's us.
He's
And
always in here strutting some new fighter to gamble on.
I'll stand up at that point to full height and
Mhm.
say, "Pleasure to meet, brother." And I'll extend hand or claw.
He instead puts a drink in your hand and says, "Let us drink. If you're going to fight, then you have to have a good brew first."
Unfortunately, I've had my share of drinks with Mel prior. As much as I appreciate the offering, I must keep my wits about me.
And who are you, by the way? Are you also some of Mel's men?
No, we're with the Purple Petals. My name is Christian Lemont, and this is my associate Baskerville. And he says, "Baskerville." And Christian Lemont, he helps himself to a seat at your table, and he says, "So, where'd you guys come from?"
I will extend Baskerville the drink that was handed to me as like, "Pleasure to meet you, brother. I think you've earned this more than I."
He said, "Baskerville." And Christian awaits an answer.
Well, we all became a ragtag group of sorts back in Emberwood. And you?
Not bad. Well, I saved Baskerville years back in the old Civil War. Found himself in the claws of one of those flying things. You ever seen them? Wings of an eagle, face of a lion.
God, I think we fought one of those not too long ago.
The Chimera?
Yeah. Anyway, it
Manticore?
was. Yeah. That's it. Anyway, it was years ago. It was horrible times. We're old veterans.
I was like, you're lucky to escape alive. When we met them, they took out at least 10 people.
Trust me, those harpies were eating good. Yeah, I've been through. I was in the first expedition to reclaim Drakkenheim, the third expedition to reclaim Drakkenheim, and I can't tell you how many battles I was in the war. It's yeah, I can't believe I'm alive.
And who did you seek to reclaim Drakkenheim from?
I, at the time, foolish as I was fighting for the king's younger sister, Cecilia. See, after the meteor fell, are you guys not from around here? I guess.
I'm from a little bit around the ways.
I was reborn here.
Anywho, he didn't care what your question was. He loves just telling stories. And Baskerville sits down with his little mug and he's like, tell the story again. And Christian Le Mans continues. After the meteor fell, the entire royal family was wiped out. The only survivors from the von Kessel line were the king's younger brother and younger sister. The younger brother, Manfred, after the meteor fell, there were multiple expeditions sent out by the von Kessels together to try to reclaim the city. And they were unsuccessful. 3 times, thousands of men, so many Westamarans just sent to the grave to slaughter. Well, after the third one failed again, Manfred decided enough was enough, and he wanted to move the capital to another city. Cecilia said she didn't want to give up on finding the royal family. So those two couldn't play nice, and we had to go play war. And he takes a stiff drink.
What proved so difficult of reclaiming the capital? Was it just the environment of the delirium?
You have been outside, right?
Not
The
nearly
haze,
enough.
the monsters. It's impossible. You're even at a higher risk if you bring in an army in here. The monsters know exactly where you are at all times, and you have nowhere to breathe. If you move in a small group, a couple of people, you can get in and out pretty all right.
And monsters as if the harpies were bred from the crash?
Listen, I ain't no scientist guy. I'm just here.
Oh, we
Those
can all
monsters,
have
that's all you need to know.
So, who do you align yourself with now if you used to work with Celine? Or Cecilia?
Me? I kind of grown tired of politics. When you have different sides just playing with your lives, and then they just give up. It kind of makes you think, what's it all really worth? Me now, I'm just here to survive, buddy. Queensman gives me the best chance.
Resounding. Your mindset of a lack of allegiance is true to my own.
Yeah, well, good luck out there. Try not to die.
That
Come on,
is-
Baskerville. I'll be watching, and I might be betting on the other side. And with that, Christian Le Mans and Baskerville take their leave. Baskerville says, to see you guys next time. And
Is Baskerville human? Like, what is he?
he was when I started the story, and now he's not. Now
Okay.
he's a little
What
goblin.
Okay,
And
there we go.
with that, I'll put you guys on pause, and I'll catch up with our good friend Danielus. Danielus, I need you. You're my only hope.
Yes. Oh, are they muted?
How are you, my friend?
Perfect.
They are muted. Of course, of
Good.
course.
Okay.
How are
quick
you, my
recap.
friend?
Why
Yeah.
was I super mad at Farron? I remember we were beefing.
It was because Farron and Bulk kind of started to scold you after the fight. Not necessarily scold, they were just trying to say, like, you don't have to be so reckless,
Oh yeah,
that
oh
sort of
yeah.
thing. So that's
Okay.
why you were heated, and you kind of blamed it on Barkus dying later.
Mm-hmm.
But you're big in your feelings right now. So Danielus
Yeah.
is a pretty moody guy. So give me, as you are walking upstairs from Sneaky Magoo's, you find yourself outside for a moment. It's approaching evening time. It's kind of like if you're gone for about 30 minutes, like if you go inside for 30 minutes, the next time you come outside, it'll probably be dark. It'll be Drakkenheim's version of dark, but basically you're kind of waiting outside and maybe you spark up a little cigar or something like that, and you kind of start looking around for Mel. What's Daniels' headspace at this moment?
I think when he gets moody, he gets just like it kind of snowballs. So I think he's just like kind of pacing, and every like minute or so he might like kick or like lash out and like slam and just be like So I think he's just kind of like going a little stir crazy because he doesn't have Barkus with him to
Mhm.
calm him down.
Is this why Daniels kind of usually just tracks off just
Stays,
him and Barkus?
yeah, stays alone. People
Yeah,
don't kind of come over because like I don't care who's around. I'll still like throw a fit, throw a temper
some
tantrum in public.
unresolved daddy issues, perhaps.
Mm-hmm, for sure. The heartbeats they get to you.
In either case, you hear down the street the voice of Blackjack Mel, um, saying, "Oh yeah, I got these new guys. They're gonna wipe the floor with anybody. If you find that drunken master, you tell him I got company for him. Tell him to meet my boys down at Sneaky Magoo's in about an hour." Um,
So do I walk up
and
and like,
you
hey,
approach.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
like, hey, Blackjack, how's it going?
Daniels, my old buddy Daniels. Uh, come here, come here, come on. Let's take a walk. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, so you and Blackjack Mel kind of take off down Buckle Down Row. It's kind of a happening scene. There's multiple taverns, there's lots of people out playing cards. There's plenty of like torch lights outside. People are like climbing up and starting to light them. Um, it looks like it's a good atmosphere. And Blackjack Mel, um, you're kind of walking slowly, cool guy style. He sparks up a little cigar as well, and he says, "Look at us. Just a couple of kids from old Drakkenheim. We ain't done too bad, have we?"
I would say not. I think we're on our way to make quite a name for ourselves. But
You better
these
believe it,
guys
buddy.
oh, yeah, you go.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I don't know. These guys I've been with, we can really take on a lot, but sometimes it gets crazy.
Daniels, everyone who is alive right now remembers when the media hit. Not too many people were actually here. You know what I'm saying? It messes you
Hmm.
up. A lot of good people died that day. Makes me want to hit something. I get so geared up just thinking about it.
That makes two of us.
It's horrible, man. I don't think you ever told me where were you at when the media fell.
Well, I was actually on my way out of the town.
Yeah, no kidding.
Hmm. With
You
my
must have got
mother.
lucky.
We did. We had left not too soon before.
Yeah, me too. I just so happened to get back to Emberwood. It's a miracle, really. It just makes you think. What are you gonna do with your life?
Oh,
Feels
I
like I
hope
kind of got a
to.
second chance for nothing.
What do you don't want to be a weapons master your whole life?
Hey, yo, I mean, listen, the Connollys, we're a commerce family. We always like to wheel and deal and get by. That's what we do. We're not a family of smiths, cobblers. we're dealers. But yeah, ever since you and your mother came into Emberwood, and even after the media, I always knew you had something in your kid. Something that made you different from those other refugees and orphans running around. Grit. A desire for something more for yourself,
Oh yeah, I think I'm gonna be rich by the end of this quest.
I know you're going to be rich, buddy, and I hope to be the one who's paying you. You guys get you guys have kind of walked multiple blocks. The amount of people has dwindled, and you find yourself on a street where no one is currently. Mel stops and he changes his tone. All right, Daniels. Between the two of us, what's your deal, man? I'm obviously glad you started doing some work for us, but why haven't you left, man? Your skills, you'd be making a killing down in Liberio, the free city. You ain't gotta be here.
I gotta take care of my mother until
Take her with
that
you.
is done.
Send her money. Why are you here? Talented guy like you? You'd probably be breaking hearts all across the continent, and laughing your way to the bank too.
Yeah, well, I just feel like I have some unfinished business, and this group kind of took me in as a kid, so I feel like I can't turn my back on them now.
You got that right, buddy. There's a lot of people in the Queen's Men. We get a pretty bad reputation. Just because maybe half of us just so happen to be pretty rough guys. But the other half, that's what I like to focus on. Sunny side up. You get it?
Exactly.
We do a lot of good work, I think. I know you're more of a entrepreneur and not too interested in the political situation, but right now, let me just be honest with you. It's a powder keg. Some very powerful people are chomping at the bit to get their hands on Drakkenheim.
And who's that?
Anyone from the Lanterns, from the old nobles that just live around here, the Silver Order. I don't know what they're up to, but I don't like it. And then now you guys go telling me the Amethyst Academy is here? Listen, we want to be the power that firmly grasps it. We can do something different.
What are you
And
proposing?
we want you involved. Look, if you're interested, I can open a door for you. Special recruiting call came in from up top. Exclusive invitation. And I think you'd be really good at it.
What would that
I just want you to know. Once you open that door, you can't close it. So, this is the big leagues. You sure you're ready?
Oh, I'm very ready.
All right. Mel reaches into his cloak and he pulls out a sack and he says, I want you to put this over your head. For now.
What
Just
is
until
this?
It's just so you can't see where the hideout is, the real hideout. For now.
Jeez.
Once
Okay.
you work yourself in, no sack required in the future.
So what would me doing this benefit me?
Well, Daniels, if you want to be rich, we can make you rich. If you want to be powerful, we might be able to do that too. What do you want?
Okay. I want the money. Let's go.
We can handle that. Mel puts the hood over your head so you can't see. You feel like you continue walking for a few blocks. And if you want to do anything in the meantime, just stop me. He walks and you can hear him open a door and you can feel yourself walking up a couple of steps and into a home or a building, something like that. Suddenly, you see a bright light, and you can feel some magical energies taking foot, and you feel like you were in a different location. Mel removes the hood from your head, and you find yourself in as your eyes adjust, you see the flames of torches surrounding a cavernous underground arena. And Blackjack Mel says to you, "This is where you're going to make your name, kid. You're going to be a star here." And he says, "This is the Queen's Arena. What do you think?"
So I'm gonna fight in this arena.
Yeah, Don Skippy, buddy. So as you kind of look around, it's kind of just like the Coliseum would look, obviously much smaller, but it's effectively a Coliseum. It's pretty big. There are stadium seatings. And in one particular section of the arena, there is what appears to be a throne. Pretty nice looking throne. There's gold inlaid into it, silk, and all that. But your eyes are drawn to above the throne on the wall. It's the scepter of Saint Vitruvio.
Mm. And are there people in the Colosseum? Like, is it full or is it empty?
It's completely empty. It's just you
And
and
it's not the same Colosseum that we were at that they were getting ready to go to.
Correct. That's effectively like a basement bar. It's a
Basement,
small,
right? That's what. Okay.
It's like a 30-foot little circle fighting pit.
Okay.
This is like
So I turned to Blackjack and I'm like, "What? So I gotta battle through some monsters to prove that I'm cool enough to join your gang?"
you'll see. But nah, we're gonna. It's a tournament, you know. You're gonna be fighting against some of the other guys in our gang. You know, anybody who kind of earns their way in. So,
Okay, so how many people do I have to fight?
hey, you know, we'll see. It's a tournament style. I mean, honestly, it's up to the queen, really. So, however the queen is feeling that day, maybe she wants to see a free for all. Maybe she wants to see 1v1v1. I don't know.
Okay. Interesting.
We'll
So
have
how
to-
long do I
we'll
have
have
to
to see.
prepare?
You have 2 weeks, approximately.
Am I allowed to get help until my other crew?
Your friends, Book and Farron, they'll be with you, of course. You guys said you wanted to enter together at least, and it is a team event. But yeah, I mean, of course, you know, we'll still be working together. You know, you still get gold. You're free to arm yourself however you like. You have
And
plenty of time.
am I able to tell them about this meeting?
This particular meeting?
Yes.
What do you want to tell them about the scepter?
Yes.
Listen here, Daniels. The Queen, she has a plan for this. When the time is right. I'm sure you will know the plan very, very soon. She don't care much for religious trinkets. Let me be very clear. She much prefers standard gold or something with some magic over historical charm. If your friends get uppity, tell them whatever you got to say to keep them at ease. But you're not lying if you say the scepter, you saw it, it's safe, right?
True.
It's not a lie if you believe it.
That's true.
Yes, so that is effectively what Blackjack Mel says you can say. He heavily implies that this honestly doesn't really concern them. This is about you.
Am I putting them in danger though?
Listen, you're in Drakkenheim, baby. You're in danger. I'm sure what helps you, if you're traveling with them, it helps them. That's the way you got to think about it, buddy. Listen, you and me both. We've seen how many adventurers come in here and they're dead in what? A day? A week? You know how much of a legend you have to be to survive here for years? You're a big guy.
True.
Don't get dragged down by these guys. If they're cool, let them be cool. But if they're not, drop them. You hear me?
That's true. Mm-hmm. I hear you.
But that's up to you. I ain't gonna tell you how to live your personal life. If you want to hang out with the
Right.
big turtle guy, I mean, what the hell is up with that, by the way?
He kind of grows on you.
Looks like you grew a freaking Alma. What is that?
There was an explosion. Best to not go into detail.
Listen, you're right. You're right. Excuse me. Let me not cloud your head. So while this kind of conversation was happening, he led you off of the arena, kind of into an off-shooting hallway, and there's kind of multiple twists and turns and twists and turns, and you stand outside of a door. Blackjack Mel says to you, "All right, are you ready? I'm really sticking my neck out for you on this one, by the way. So don't do anything stupid. You hear me? You know what the
Okay.
queen cares about the most?
A good show.
Gold and respect. As long as you don't mess with that, you'll be all right. All right?
Okay.
All right. Just going to have a conversation with some people in that room. Real easy. When you're done, you go meet me back in the arena, all right? Start visualizing what your statue's going to look like.
Okay.
All right. Do you enter the room?
Yes.
Okay. So Blackjack Mel steps away as you enter into the room. There is a single table and 3 chairs, one on your side, 2 on the opposite side. About a minute later, a doorway opens in the wall opposite you. It's kind of like a prison like interrogation scene, but just imagine that with just like cement or whatever they built stuff with back in the old days. So there's like torches lighting the room. So a door opens where there was no door on the opposite side of the room. A door appears in the wall and it opens up, and 2 people enter into the room.
Hello, I'm Danielus. Oh, sorry. I didn't know.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Danielus. I think you guys have a proposition for me.
They enter in very businesslike. They close the door and it instantly disappears once again. And they walk forward without addressing you at all. They walk forward, take seats at their take their seats and sit down, pretty much like all in unison. One of them's a man, one of them's a woman. The man is a so both of them are dressed in black armor, but it's kind of light armor. It's kind of roguish. It's similar to what you would wear, with kind of like red clothing and cloaks. The guy has one of those like super tight, like circular Raiden hats from Mortal Kombat, and it's black. He pretty much looks like his image here. And the woman does as well, but the only difference from the image and reality is that covered over her face is like almost like chainmail, so you can't quite see through her. As she's moving, like you may have caught like a glimpse of her skin. They sit down and they speak to you. So, you're, excuse me, and this is the man speaking to you. So, you're Danielus,
That is correct.
the ranger.
Have you heard of me?
Yes, Blackjack Mel has spoken much about you.
Oh, has he now?
Indeed. And the man lights a cigar. You may call me deceit. This is denial, gesturing to the woman. We're going to have a conversation. A very important one for you. I suppose you could call it a test, but we like to say getting to know each other. Depending on how this goes, you can thank or blame Blackjack Mel. If you survive, that is. Are you ready to begin?
Yes.
Deceit. kind of sits up straight and he says, "Where were you born?"
I give my correct. I tell him in the
Yeah,
castle.
you can say that.
Drakkenheim. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
In
and
the
you were
castle
born in
of
the castle.
Drakkenheim.
He says, "Interesting. What did you think of your time at the castle?"
I wasn't quite a fan of it.
Must have been pretty lucky. Parents must have been quite well off.
You could say that.
Who are they?
My mother is an innkeeper and works at a bar.
A
And
commoner.
my father is no longer alive.
So your mother was a
Died.
commoner, yet you were born in the castle. Who was your father?
You could say he was high up in the hierarchy there. Very noble.
The woman, Denial. She says his father was Johann Eisner, the royal steward.
And I kind of freeze. It's just like, don't break eye contact. How did you know that?
Danielus. And he kind of chuckles a little bit and he says, "You understand where you are?
No.
The Queen of Thieves, the Queen's men. Information is our business. Let's continue." So you were a bastard. Were your parents together?
No.
On the day the meteor hit, what were you doing?
I was leaving the castle.
Why were you at the castle?
I like to go there to hang out and steal what I can.
I like that. And you can just say, like, "I tell the truth" if you want to, or you can feel free
Okay,
to
yeah,
role play it out
yeah.
however you want, whichever one's
Yeah.
more appropriate. And you survived. You were here at the castle, and you survived.
I ran off as fast as I could when I saw what was happening.
And how have you survived this long? What do you do for money?
I take odd jobs when I can. Do what I can to scrounge up what I can.
You love money, don't you, Daniels?
I do.
Gold.
It makes the world go round. Mm-hmm.
Who are your traveling companions?
I tell him about Farron and Bulk.
Mm-hmm. Do you tell like everything you know about them? I mean, that was a bad way to say it. Yeah, that's fair. That's a good enough response. Why are they here? Do you know?
I tell them the truth.
Do you trust them?
I do.
I hope so. Tell me, how many men have you killed?
Hundreds, especially with my trusty steed Barkus, and then I kind of get into like I just kind of ramble and go into the glory of it.
Is that true? Have you killed? This is me asking. Have you killed hundreds of men? It could be true.
Actually, I wouldn't say hundreds of human.
Yeah, human men. Yeah.
Oh,
If you just want to say like
I've,
you've killed multiple, yeah.
yes, I've done it when
'Cause
I've
technically you
needed
have.
to. Yeah,
Yes.
when it was necessary. I don't like to take a life.
Denial speaks up and says, "That's not true. You enjoy killing, don't you?"
I enjoy killing monsters, but people, not so much.
And what if they've wronged you?
Then that is a
There's
different
something
story.
There's something about putting down someone who threatens you Isn't there, Daniels?
I sometimes I try to keep the straight and narrow, but it's too tempting.
Deceit chuckles and says, "How quickly a no turns into a yes." If you could kill any person in the world, who would it be?
Oh my gosh. Who's running it? Who's running everything
In the world?
right now? Yeah, in Drakkenheim.
I don't think they're. Nobody's ruling Drakkenheim right now.
I don't know who I would kill.
Denial says nothing. Deceit goes on. Do you keep company with any hooded lanterns?
I do. Isn't it Farron no hooded lantern?
Farron? No.
Oh no.
No, he's not.
Oh, then no. I tell the truth. No, we don't.
Denial speaks up and says, "Well, that's somewhat true. Who is Petra Eisner?"
Oh my gosh. Well, don't you already know since you guys know everything?
Deceit speaks up and says, "Please answer the question, Daniels."
That's my sister. Half sister. But
So
she
Johann
doesn't
Eisner
know
had
it.
2 children. Indeed. Why haven't you told her?
Honestly, hadn't had the chance since all of this went down. I thought she was dead, and I don't know what the benefit is yet by telling her.
What do you think of the Queen of Thieves?
I tell him the truth.
What do you think?
I like the idea of, isn't their policy they kind of just like run themselves with a loose pirates
It's freedom.
code. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like them. I like what they stand for.
Deceit says, he ashes out his cigar on the table, and he says, "Phase 1 of the test complete. Thank you, Daniels."
I'm considering, since I'm still alive, I would say that was a pass.
It was not a fail.
Okay.
Your admission to the Queen's court depends on your future performances. Strike a blow against the Queen's enemies, make an offering to the Queen. Next step, continue working with Blackjack Mel. If you receive a Queen of Diamonds playing card, you are advised to do what it says, expeditiously.
And you want me to attack Queen's men? Is that what you said?
Strike a blow against the Queen's enemies. Effectively, what he's
enemies.
saying, what he's saying here, or implying, is that there are 2 more tests specifically for what they will give you. He doesn't really imply, but he says strike a blow against the Queen's enemies and make an offering to the Queen. And basically he's saying keep doing what you're doing. Keep working with Mel. Don't talk about this. And if you receive a Queen of Diamonds playing card, do what it says.
Okay.
You may ask 1 question.
What happens if I pass?
Then you will be a very rich and very powerful man.
The evil background music starts playing, and I rub my hands together. Oh, yes.
And we will have achieved, and we hope to achieve, a great victory in our future. So they both stand up. He says, "We'll establish a path for you into the city to reclaim your precious clock tower as well.
Ooh.
Her people's goals are the Queen's goals. Quid pro quo, you could say." Mel has also selected a gift from the Queen's coffers for you. You may retrieve it outside with him.
Ooh. Thank you.
That is all.
And
You may leave.
I give him a bow, and I turn around and teleport, I guess.
As you turn around, you can see that the door you entered into is also gone. So you start to walk towards the door. And Denial, the woman, speaks up as you have your back turned, and she says, "And Danielus," and she like pulls apart the shroud on her face, revealing the face of your sister, Petra Eisner, and she says, "And next time, don't be so gullible." And they turn and walk to the wall, and they open up a door that is not there, and they walk out. Okay, so we'll just leave you there for a minute there.
Petra Eisner was my sister.
It was that's what you saw. That's what you saw. We'll leave you there. We're going to bring the boys in. We're actually going to bring everybody in.
So, okay.
Okay, bringing the boys back in.
Oh, God.
Daniel's just had his mind blown. Sorry about that.
Jeez.
I think I want to take our break right here, primarily
Okay.
because I have to pee super bad. But we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll bring everybody together quite swiftly.
Make sure you like and subscribe and do all the great things. We can tell when Blackjack Mel is on screen from body language alone.
Hey.
Hey, it's your,
It's your boy.
it's your boy.
Time.